I love this place, and I love coming home to it. It's the land of common sense, is what I call it. And it makes sense to me that this is the heart and soul and the home of country music, because what country music sings about every day, we live every day. So it's not putting on an act or anything for us. It's as natural as breathing in and breathing out.
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair.
I don't think it's coincidence. I don't think it's just, it just happens to be that so many artists, entertainers, athletes, writers are from Oklahoma. It's, you talk about the crossroads of creativity, it's in the blood out here. And that common sense gene that we were born with and raised with from inside and outside with programs like Hale, just reinforce that so we can pass it on to our children. And I gotta tell you, I'm for making Oklahoma the capital of the United States.
And we're back with Jeff Moore, OKPOP. All right, my friend, let's talk a little bit about what to expect when the building finally goes up. And when does that happen?
Well, we're looking to break ground probably in 2017 with an opening in 2019. So we have a few years to get all this together. But the heart and soul of the project are the collections. It's the stories. Mm-hmm. And the ability that we have to bring these Oklahoma treasures that have been put all over the world and country and bring them back to Oklahoma for people to see, Oklahomans to see, and hopefully lots of visitors from out of state.
You know, it's always been intriguing to me, and I'm going to single one element out here. It's always been intriguing to me the amount of musical talent Oklahoma has produced. Now, I'm not talking about just Garth Brooks, you know, and company. I mean, if you go back over the years and look at the musicians and the singers and the songwriters that have come from Oklahoma or call Oklahoma home, it's astounding.
It really is. And that's one of the things that really sets this story apart and sets Oklahoma apart from other parts of the country and other states. And I think that's the vision that people have had to say, you know, this project is something we need to do and the state needs. We need to be promoting these amazing creative musicians that have come from the state, and you shouldn't have to go to Nashville
exactly.
or Cleveland, Ohio,
exactly.
or Los Angeles to get these stories. And that's what's great about the OKPOP is people will be able to see it here in Tulsa.
You know, it's encouraging for me to stand back and watch the young ones that are coming on, the young artists, the young writers, the young inventors. There are kids out there right now who they're going to end up at OKPOP when their life is through.
That's right. And they'll be inspired. I think there's people that really may not have any idea they have a talent or a creative strain, but they're going to come to the museum, they're going to see someone's story, they're going to be inspired and go out and achieve great things on their own.
All right, look, I'm not trying to insult anybody with OKPOP, but I got to ask you, when do you announce the groundbreaking for the enlargement? Because you know it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the problem. I mean, you dream big and you build as big as you can, but that would be a good problem to have.
Isn't it going to be something?
We're excited. We're excited. And really, you know, going back to the collections, we've got some major collections that have been donated to Oklahoma Historical Society and for the OKPOP. And one of the biggest ones was the Bob Wills family.
I was just about to ask you about that. Explain to the folks at home, because this is big news.
It really is. And the relationship with them started in 2010. And we had this vision for what this museum could be in Tulsa. And, you know, obviously one of his biggest hits was Take Me Back to Tulsa.
Sure.
And so for his collection, you know, his personal items to come back to Tulsa and be able to be featured in the part of town that he made world famous. You know, Kane's Ballroom is not Kane's Ballroom without Bob Wills. And all these new artists that you were talking about from all over the world that come back and they want to play at Kane's because Kane's is the house that Bob built.
The house that Bob built.
And so to be able to have his collection back in Tulsa and the amazing projects and ideas we have to tell his story. We've already started.
Well, I want to ask you about something that I just got wind of today, because I'm kind of slow, but the generation of old records from Bob that we have not had access to, we've now, because of you folks, we've now got access to them.
That's right. Well, it was.
How did that come about?
It was Bob and Betty Wills, before he passed away, gave his personal collection of radio transcriptions to his drummer, Casey Dickens, who lived in Fort Worth, Texas. Mm-hmm. And he gave them to the Bob Wills Heritage Foundation, who then gave them to the Historical Society for OKPOP. And we got a grant from the Grammy Foundation. Because these recordings were so historically significant, the Grammy Foundation said we need to get them digitized. We need to have them preserved. So we were able to go in there and kind of dig through this treasure trove of music.
That's a gold mine.
It is, and we were fortunate to be able to bring Oklahoma creatives into the project. And we were able to hire Steve Ripley, who an amazing musician and recording artist who has worked engineer and in recording studios with J.J. Cale and Leon Russell mm-hmm. and Bob Dylan, and had his band, The Tractors. And we brought him on board, and he went through and meticulously listened to every song and then cleaned them up. Took all the pops and the scratches out of the music.
Oh, man, I can't wait to hear this.
And it sounds like you're in the recording studio with the band as they're playing. And it's just absolutely amazing. And this year, we're releasing an album, a vinyl album of this music, and then eventually a CD.
I've got to know, where can I buy it? What now?
Well, the album, the CD's coming out this fall. The album actually is available at the Oklahoma History Center at the museum store, and you can go to okhistory.org and get a copy of that. Eventually, we'll have it for sale around the state and around the country. But we're real excited. I mean, it's just an amazing opportunity.
What a wonderful thing to have happened.
Yeah, and it's the neat thing about this recording is that these songs came from a recording session in January of 1949, which was 2 or 3 weeks before they came back to Cain's mm-hmm. in February 9th, 1949, to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the very first performance on KVOO.
Oh, my goodness.
So this band, we know, the band that recorded these songs, played in Tulsa February 9th, 1949.
A very close friend of mine, Michael Wallace, heads up the Route 66 Alliance.
Yes.
And Michael tells me, he's got this very deep voice. From time to time, he'll say something along the lines of, "We have more history here than they have in the East." He'll make that little pronouncement and then buzz on off to something else. But he's right.
Absolutely.
In different ways.
Yeah.
But we've got so much.
Well, and one of the things we've done is we've started an oral history project where we've interviewed Oklahomans in the film, television, music, mm-hmm. all these pop culture areas. We've done over 350 interviews. And everybody says that same thing. And one of the big comments we got from Alfre Woodard, Academy Award nominated actress from Tulsa.
Booker T. Washington.
That's right. She talked about how if it's not for something like OKPOP, the coasts get all the credit.
Yeah.
But they need to know that the creativity actually came from the heartland, from the middle.
That's right.
And the coasts mainly told the story, but really the heart and soul came from the middle.
All these years, they've looked at us as, that's just country we fly over. Or they've used us as a test market. Little did they know we were the sounds, we were the talent, we were the writing, we were the sport greats, we were the movie greats. We did it all right here.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is there are people that knew. The Beatles knew.
Yeah.
Because the Beatles came to Tulsa to hang out with Leon Russell and those guys. And the people that really wanted the heart and soul wanted to work with Oklahomans.
Well, I can share this with you because now, it's not going to harm anybody, but Paul McCartney and his wife were here about 2.5 years ago and stayed here very quietly and visited Cain's and some other places around town and then went on their way. And nobody knew it until after it was over. But we have a lot that make the pilgrimage. Jeff, thank you. And will you come back?
Absolutely.
Look for me to darken your door from time to time, my friend.
Thank you very much. You'll be our first volunteer.
You got it. You've got it. We're all out of time. I'm Sam Jones. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you next week on Perspective.